Welcome back, everyone. It's been a week. We haven't seen you, but we're here today to talk about the impeachment, the gun boogaloo going on in West Virginia, possibly the anointment of Emperor Northam. It's going to be quite a wild, interesting episode today. So I'm joined today by Charlie, my brother, Tyler, my other brother in arms, and then obviously myself. So I think I'm just probably going to jump right into the impeachment hearing that's going on today. So, I mean, realistically, I don't know if anybody has actually been paying any attention to it. Today's kind of feels like a preliminary thing because it's all about, it's pretty much like Mitch McConnell came out and was talking about how if anybody brings up any notions to, subpoena any witnesses or documents or anything like that, he's just going to table it. And he said that right at the beginning, and it looks like all the Democrats are doing today is, bringing forth new motions for this trial, before it continues. And they basically get 2 hours to go and plead their case. At the end, it gets tabled because the Republicans are currently in control of the Senate. So it's like a guaranteed 53-47. And it has just been an unproductive day, I would say, for people on Team Impeachment.
What else would you expect from Congress?
It has been an unproductive day.
I'm sure that describes the vast majority of the year for Congress.
For sure.
This has just been extremely public, unproductive day.
Yeah, no, it's been it's been fun.
Yeah,
a lot of people,
your vibrators ring.
A lot of people talking shit about the case right now, and basically I don't even know, man. Because you're right. It's pretty much just the same shit that they've been speaking for the last
just
4
different
months.
Day.
That's what I think about that fucking trial.
Yeah, no,
and it's still going on, and here's the thing, right? They're just gonna keep throwing out resolution after resolution after resolution until they think that it's maybe one day they'll say yes. Soon here, the next one they'll do it. And what you have to realize is you're wasting your time.
Well, I mean, if it can carry over into his next term, I say just fucking let it ride.
It's not going to.
Let it ride.
You're in it now.
Well, yeah, that's
too late.
It's kind of the main issue that I think that they're in. Realistically, if I was a fucking Democrat in this situation, I would just fucking...
They shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Let it ride.
What they should have done is they should have listened to Tulsi, and they should have just censored him. Then you get and then you can play we knew we wouldn't be able to impeach the guy because they control the Senate. Help us win back the Senate next, in November. That, they could have used that, and that would have been perfect.
I don't know. It's just such a crazy gamble because, I see, this next upcoming election, it's gonna be huge for the Republicans just because they've got an incumbent currently running for the office. They've got lots of House seats up for grabs, lots of Senate seats up for grabs or up for defense. I think it's the main house.
The House has some up, but it could be flipped, and I know that the Republicans aren't really worried about the Senate because they don't have enough to. They don't have the.
Aren't most of them just up for re-election in the Senate? I think
so.
Right now, yeah. So I don't think that they actually have too much to worry about in the Senate. But I know that with the House, they're playing a really risky game because, most of the time, I feel like in non-presidential elections, you have representatives in certain districts that run completely unopposed because,
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take I'm not going to say Iowa because Iowa's obviously this weird political hotbed, but certain small, Kansas, I'm sure that Kansas has some fucking districts in it, or Montana, shit like that. I'm sure those have districts that just have people in them that just oh yeah, no, I'm the only one that's interested in running for the House of Representatives spot in this. Can I just move to any district in the country and then run for House of Representatives?
You have to spend 51% of your year there, yeah.
That's it? Just 51% of the year?
I think so, yeah.
That ain't anything. What? Really?
The majority of your time. 51%.
You can live in some nice little area. That's Bella, everybody. If you can hear her on the mic. I know you can because for some unknown reason, you move 3 feet away from the mic and you can't hear a goddamn thing, but somebody accidentally bumps into something 1,000 feet away and it's just oh, what the hell is that?
There's ghosts in there.
I don't know. So I honestly in the to rehash the argument that we were talking about at the House, I honestly think that Pelosi has had some sort of vested interest in watching this happen for some time. I mean, she's been in the political arena for so long at this point. Who knows, dude? Maybe she doesn't even care.
She can't not be enjoying it.
Maybe she's about to firebrand herself, and she's going to fucking, just...
Nah.
This is it, and she... Look at those pens, dude. Did you see those pens?
I saw the pens.
Did you look up the pens?
I saw the pens.
Like, come on.
I saw the fucking pens. No, she... Okay, so she didn't want to push this, but now that
Bullshit.
No, there's no way. Like, why would she? Why would she? I don't think she's a dumb person. I think she's an alcoholic, but I don't think she's a dumb person. And obviously, a dumb person or a relatively smart person would see that you can't impeach Trump. It's not going to happen. I mean, impeach all the way through the Senate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like a person as smart as her, you got to figure she's at some point did the math.
Yeah.
She's got to see how this is going to turn out.
So let's play this out by the future card then. So like you think that she's playing up to the Democrats in her caucus right now, in her party, that are basically controlling the show
because they have already threatened to primary them out.
Yeah, so she's worried that she's going to lose her political spot, right, after this whole fucking fiasco if she doesn't follow through with them.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? She is now potentially in threat of losing her political spot. Guess why?
Yeah.
Because of this whole fucking fiasco that's going on.
It was a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, no.
And she made one of the decisions.
I don't believe that because, like, I personally think that if she wanted to, she could stand up to those people and prove maybe to the people, like, I know. You're thinking to yourself, like, what kind of...
It's the same, by the same logic that she said that anyone could win in AOC's district, anyone with a D next to their name could win in her district as well.
Yeah, but she's been there for 17 years.
I know, and how nice is that fucking district?
Shitty.
It's pretty fucking shitty. If she got primaried by these new age Democrats, she would lose her fucking seat. Willing to bet. It's San Francisco.
They're going to primary her regardless. Not to mention the fact that, like, she's also got, like, other people running
Here's
against.
what she did. She went on the offensive instead of trying to play the defensive. If she decided to go, like, let them primary me, I'm going to run a solid-ass campaign. I'm going to stay back in my district, and I'm going to fix that shit up or work on places like the back home issues.
Yeah, but that is not what she's doing.
This is the hypothetical here.
Okay.
So, she could have done that. That's the defensive mood. She could have won her primary and then continue to be Nancy Pelosi further into the future. But what she did instead was go on the offensive and go all in on this impeachment thing.
Yeah, no, so I don't believe, because I think that there is more of a chance of her coming out on top by going on the defensive than by her going on the offensive. And if we're holding to the plan, or the theory rather, that she is not a stupid person, then
I don't think she's a stupid person. I think she's afraid.
She should be more afraid now. Because what is this?
She made the wrong call. I'm not saying she's intelligent. I'm just saying she's not stupid.
I'd say that
she's afraid.
Going on the offensive after you said you were not going to go on the offensive, after you played it up to everybody about how this was not what you wanted to do, because guess what? You look like you're the victim in this situation, because you're like, I never wanted to do it.
Under the same premise that you said that, let's assume that she's not a dumb person and she's definitely not looking good right now. Why would she make that call instead?
Because I think she is a dumb person.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I thought I turned it
I even gave you a warning, dude.
I thought I turned
Wow. Ooh.
Sorry.
I think I won that.
No.
Because of that.
Bullshit.
Strictly because of that.
Bullshit.
Tyler? I think I won that.
Weigh in on that?
I'm sorry. I'm busy trying to get you guys to stop clipping.
Yeah, that's probably... I'm excited.
Smart. Okay. No, I don't think she had... you're not going to convince me because I feel like I've given you a valid argument. And I haven't. I see no reason why she would make the other call.
You just gave why she should have.
No, I'm saying
call.
She made the wrong call. I don't see
100%. She made the wrong call, but
and she did it out of fear.
I don't think she did it out of fear.
She doubted her. She doubted her ability. She probably would have won.
Smug ass walking around the house.
Okay, here's why. Let me tell you this, because she didn't do the defensive position that I explained earlier, right? That's my reasoning of how to win it. Maybe she didn't know that's how because obviously she's an evil person, so she's not going to fix her fucking district. So that wouldn't have occurred to her. So she didn't think she could win her primary. Me knowing that how to fix her fucking district as an opinionated American, I think she could have won her primary. She, on the other hand, probably didn't think so. But what she could have done was that.
I honestly think that, like after the decision basically came down where she thought, well, this is what we have to make the call right now, whether or not we're going to do the impeachment or not. And she made the call to do it. I think because there are small parts of her, at the very least, made peace with the fact that she's not coming back.
She's probably not going to come back, no. But I'm sure that's probably why she went all in, is because she knows she's not coming back now because she's already made the call.
But I mean, like, if you just look at the history that they have with each other, like, there is no way that you could convince me that she does not despise him.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
And I think that she despises him enough to use whatever influence that she has left to actually, like, push this through. Now, maybe there was a point in time where she was like, no, this is a very stupid idea, because, it was and it is. Yeah. But I think eventually she crossed a threshold where she thought to herself, like, you know what? Fuck it.
No. If anything that happened, she made a gut call in a moment, and it spiraled into this, and that's what it was.
Jesus, this is just all a whole shitload of backpedal.
Because look what happened when she was like, why do you hate the president? She just like, what?
Religion. Yeah. You're telling me I'm a Catholic.
I'm a Catholic. It's like, you would burn if you touched a cross. You
Catholics.
No, like,
we could all learn a lesson in hate from the Catholics.
Yeah.
Just saying. So like,
no, like seriously, she's not a religious person. She probably made a gut call like that, and here we are. I mean, I don't think she wanted to do this, and then she probably fucked up somewhere along the line. I mean, was like, shit, now we have to.
I mean, like, I have no evidence besides the fact, she's come out publicly and said, like, she didn't want to do this. So unless I thought she was a liar,
I think she is a liar.
Then but I mean, like, I guess I have no reason to disbelieve her.
I do think she is a liar on many reasons, but this is one scenario why I don't see why she would lie about it. Like, why would you say, like, yeah, I want to impeach the guy because I know it's not going to go anywhere?
Because she knows, because she's been on this fucking 10-month-long shit talking spree where somebody's like, in the sense that somebody's been talking shit to her about this whole situation.
Okay, let's go with this.
Should you still be attributing incompetence when there's been such a history of malice?
That's a good question. But here's my little analogy. Conor McGregor talked a lot of shit to Khabib before he got his ass beat.
Dude, Khabib's the baddest man on the planet, dude. That dude.
My point, dude. Right? Conor McGregor could be talking shit to this day if he never fought him. Now it's like, dude, you're right.
He doesn't even talk, I don't think. Dude, can he even speak English?
I don't know. But like, that's the thing. Like, that's my point. Is Nancy Pelosi could have gone on talking all the shit she wanted to until she pulled this fucking trigger.
Well, I'm saying people have been talking shit to her. So, like, finally, when the trigger has been pulled, what is she going to say? People have been giving her nothing but nonsense about this whole thing since the get-go. So, if it was, just hypothetically speaking, if it was her idea, or maybe one of the things that she was spearheading from the beginning, and she's seen how much it's completely backfired on her, what would the logical thing for a politician to do? Would be to
lie?
Yeah. Just saying. I mean, Schiff is more than willing to take the fall on this one, dude. Like, he's been fucking...
No, here's my thing. Like, her and Schumer both, right, have had this, like, back and forth between impeachment and not impeachment, right? But they've always played the back pedal up until, like, what, November? What happened?
I don't know.
What changed? Why all of a sudden, like, now is the time? Now he's the national security... I mean, I guess the July call... national security.
Yeah, because
and then she holds it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I haven't been seeing the typical loud voices that everybody was attributing to, like, being the main driving force for impeachment saying anything about impeachment very recently. Like, sure, Rashida Tlaib had that video of her walking down with a huge smile on her face, to go and vote for the impeachment, and Nancy got super pissed at her. But like other than like them posting things on Twitter and stuff, they've been relatively quiet in comparison to how they were like when they first got in there.
But yeah, but do you still remember the fact that they would they threatened to primary other Democrats if they didn't vote for impeachment?
Yeah, but they're busy now worrying about their own elections.
Now, yeah, that's my. But the point is, like,
So why come
the
out
threat
in
was
November?
there?
Yeah, so why
they
come
already
out,
did it.
Yeah, so why come out after the July phone call and seriously start pushing it when you know that they don't really have the ability to push for primary?
It's not people like AOC or Ayanna Pressley that are primarying them. It's the Justice Democrats, the people who aren't running in a primary.
I know Chank's probably.
Chank's running for fucking Katie Hill.
He's gonna get it, dude. He's gonna win it for sure. He's got a lot of support out that way. I've been following it.
Yeah, but then you got Joey Salads out there.
Yeah, but he's not running for the same district.
No. George Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos.
Yeah, he's.
I don't think he's gonna get it, man. Like,
I think it's gonna get some.
I mean, I know he's pretty popular, but I mean,
it's
like, he's not necessarily.
It's gonna get some attention. That's the thing.
Because, like, I mean, that district is very blue.
Oh yeah.
So
it's LA
like,
County, isn't it?
Yeah. So the idea of him.
I don't think he's gonna win it.
No, and I mean, like, he's popular with his podcast and stuff for sure, but I mean, it's
they don't live in LA County.
Yeah.
No, sure.
So
I don't think he's gonna win it. I do think he's gonna make a little fucking scene about it.
Oh, dude, I really want to find where like the local debates between him and Cenk.
You know that's just gonna be on YouTube.
Oh, it's gonna be everywhere.
Because it's gonna be Joey Salads debates Chunk Yogurt, of course.
Papadopoulos.
Oh shit.
Salads is like New York.
Yeah, he's running for Gillibrand's seat.
Yeah, I was gonna say Salads is also running for House. So.
Oh no, Gillibrand's a senator.
You know what? We gotta go find fucking Brian Perry and get him to run for the House.
He just won his election, bro. Get off his back.
Brian Perry?
Yeah.
He's part of the school board now?
Yeah, you won.
Good for him.
You didn't see that shit on Facebook?
No.
Oh, okay.
Good for him, though.
Yeah, you won it.
Next, House of Representatives. Who's he going for? It's Stivers, right? Going for Stivers' seat?
Steve Stivers.
Yeah. We're coming for you, Steve. I haven't talked to Brian Perry in like 10 years, so probably.
Shout out to Brian Perry.
Yeah, congratulations, brother.
Not the other Brian Perry that everyone from like 2007 remembers as that midget rapist.
Oh, yeah, not that guy.
Not that Brian
Not
Perry.
that Brian Perry.
Am I allowed to Steve Stivers lives just down the street from here, doesn't he?
He's in... It's like close to...
Stop, you're doxing him.
Yeah, I know. I'll cut that out. But point is, like, he lives in a very close vicinity to us. We should definitely
go pay him a visit.
Maybe try to do more on that, and maybe even try to get him on the show.
Okay.
Steve Stivers?
You never know, man.
He's been
you
busy.
got a dream, right?
He's been busy.
Yeah, he's been pretty fucking busy.
Yeah, they have like a thing going on in Congress right now.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like Stivers has been the rep since like
for a while.
Freshman year of high school.
Here's the thing. He does have his name on a giant sign pointing to where he lives. So,
well, yeah, he's our fucking district representative. He probably has no problem letting people know where he lives.
I suppose.
You know, like especially because it's like, have you seen House of Cards?
Yeah, I've seen parts of House of Cards. I haven't watched all of it yet, though.
Well, have you seen like when he goes back to North Carolina to run against?
Yeah.
That guy because he's trying to primary him. Or
yeah,
whatever.
And they're talking about the peach.
Yeah,
the big old.
Yeah, and so I mean, like that. I feel like for certain people, you know, like who know like the area that they live in and stuff, especially for like small town districts.
Yeah,
it's got to be so easy. Like if you grew up in that area, you know, like you've lived in this area like your entire life. This is why I think that BP would be perfect to take Stivers' spot here in like 20 years.
We went to school with a girl. Oh God, what's her fucking last name? I should know. But we went to school with a girl. Her mom is currently a representative from the state of Ohio in Congress now.
So what, dude? Being a House of Representatives person must suck dick.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like we went to school with a representative's daughter.
That's pretty sweet.
I mean, I think she was a state rep at the time, like state house, but like or whatever we call our fucking legislator. But yeah, I think
state legislator.
I feel like we should know that.
They call them all state assembly, state legislators.
Well, I feel like it varies. You know,
there's different names for different states. I just don't know what Ohio calls theirs.
Well,
but I know that like me personally, like I've always wanted to like low key be like, well, recently in the last like 5-6 years, I've always wanted to like low key be like part of like the House of Representatives.
I'm never gonna run for office.
I don't even know where you begin.
I'm
Because
never
like
going to.
the main thing with like running for the House specifically is that you need to be good at fundraising.
I would never run for office. You know how many like shit that I've said would just be like come to light. Like, well, I can't really explain that. So.
No, dude, you got that cool ass Twitter handle.
It's the Ohio.
Nobody knows who you are.
No. There's then there's Reddit.
What's
the
your
Ohio House of Representatives.
what's your
So it's your representative?
What's my what?
what's your name on Reddit?
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, how are people gonna know?
People will find out, man. I probably sent it to, like there's a connection. People would find it. So yeah, I'm never gonna run for House or any office.
Don't be afraid of the things that you've said. Look at God Emperor Northam.
Shit.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
but here's the thing. I'm not gonna run as a Democrat.
But you could.
But you could.
But you could.
I mean,
You know, you don't have to fucking get in there and be like, well, I ran on a Democratic ticket. I better adhere to my Democratic ticket. Do what fucking what's his name did. Get in there and be
Yeah,
like,
I
you know,
mean,
I'm
like-
switching parties, dogs. I'm sorry to do it to you.
You would by no means be the first person.
Jeff Andrew.
Yeah, so like you're not going to get
He-
reelected.
He was
but,
a Democrat
I mean,
for years.
You're not going to get reelected, but there is no rule that says that you can't get in there and basically do the exact
What's
opposite.
the point? I'm gonna be one-term representative like AOC.
One-term wonder.
You go in there and fucking shit up, dude. You know,
No,
like
just-
go and
To be the libertarian. in
Yeah,
me,
go in
just
there and
go in
say
like
some
take the
stuff.
beast down from inside.
Yeah.
Joke's on you.
I
I'm
say we
actually
slash all the
libertarian.
budgets.
yeah, just start
Make marijuana legal.
You're like Ron Swanson up in there and be
Yeah.
like, I want
Slash it.
slash it, slash it, slash it.
We want no more federal funding for anything. College is a completely
It was watching
market
like the first
product.
episode of that the other day where he's like, I'd like to see the Parks Department completely privatized for profit.
yeah.
Like,
It makes sense. I mean, like the way he's like, I know they're like he's a caricature of a libertarian, but like, man, he's not saying some bad ideas.
no, I mean he
I'm-
makes a lot of sense for like a total
You get
joke
one of
character.
these new, mortal wielding startup companies that are all interested in being green. You tell them, hey, guess what? The state parks are for sale.
Tell Charlie what you told me earlier about Microsoft.
Oh yeah. So Microsoft has just announced that they're going to. So they've been carbon neutral from their I guess management operations standpoint.
Sure.
Their servers and their factories and stuff like that have not been carbon neutral yet, but because data centers use a shitload of electricity.
Yeah.
But the pledge that they just made was that they're going to be carbon negative by 2030.
Okay, so Matt was just talking about how he's buying IBM stocks. So,
and not only that, by 2030. So they're I think that was 2030. Let me just double check that. But the even more crazier claim that they made was that carbon negative pledge. 2030. So 2030, they're going to be completely carbon negative, meaning they're paying back more carbon karma points into the environment than they're using for their data centers and whatnot, which I'm not even quite sure how you manage. But even more than that,
for every ton of carbon you put out, you plant like 2 trees or something.
Yeah,
Nice.
like something. Yeah, but by 2050, they pledge to have paid back their entire carbon footprint all the way back since their inception in 1975.
What about all the gas that their employees burned on their way to work? Does that count?
Yeah,
What about
and
They're gonna start living in like villages right
All
outside.
the other
of
triple
that.
Ds.
Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson say that as soon as we're done with the internal combustion engine, the polar ice caps will return to their glory.
What? These men have PhDs.
I know, right? Like that's the thing that fucking drives me crazy.
And then, like this. Well, that's
you said it perfectly earlier, JP. Is like there's absolutely no way that the internal combustion engine would completely disappear unless every single incorporated entity everywhere made it completely illegal to own.
It would have to be
produce.
because like if all of a
Even
sudden
then.
no, dude, because all of a sudden if everybody started driving Teslas because, like, just say Teslas because Teslas became way cheaper and easier to use and stuff, the only thing that would do would drive the price of gasoline way the fuck down. And then guess what? People would start taking the cloth off their old fucking internal combustion engine car, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm just going to drive this because electricity is expensive as shit.
Yeah, because the grid's taxed, and we don't have really good ways of producing electricity that are all carbon friendly, and so electricity prices are going way up.
You guys are fixating on a completely different aspect that I'm looking at the fact that they're saying that the ice caps are going to return back to their glory. We are at the tail end of an ice age.
We were going to let them have that one. We just glossed over. We were going to let them have it.
Watch, and anybody that's listening to this, you need to go and go to your Netflix or go to your friend's Netflix, whoever's Netflix you're using.
I mean, everyone's stealing somebody's, right?
And watch the first episode of Cosmos. Now, I'm not telling you to watch the whole thing. Maybe just the first 15 minutes of it. And we'll find out exactly what the timestamp is and put it in the description for you. Probably not.
And ignoring the content, it's very entertaining.
No, I'm not going to knock Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's done good work. This is not, and Carl Sagan, they've both done good work. This is not a good representation of who they are. I think that this is them wanting their science to be accurate when it most definitely is not necessarily.
And I feel like they've got the inflated ego from the appeal to authority
100%.
That everyone on every Facebook warrior, you're like, well, he's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's black science guy.
They're celebrity scientists.
Yeah,
like they're on TV. Sagan's dead, but like Tyson, like he's on TV. He has his own podcast. He's the fucking director of the Hayden. Yeah, he's the director of the Hayden Planetarium. I mean, the dude has got credentials.
Honest to God, I'm sure he hands out his phone number like candy to online or TV personalities, people like that, because it's just like, it seems like anytime some sort of personality needs a well-known science guy to come back something up, there's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'll back it up.
I want more than anything in the entire world. I want
Neil deGrasse.
I want Neil and fucking
Bill Nye.
Randall Carlson. On Rogan. I want them to duke it out.
Randall Carlson.
Because like that's just the thing that like blows my mind about it, because like I'm all for, like maybe reducing the carbon footprint where we can, like don't get me wrong.
Let's not make it worse.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like the Gulf Stream is going to stop. That has been happening long before our Industrial Revolution. This is just
the ice caps were melting
before the Industrial Revolution. I mean, like, these are things that are just happening. They're going to continue to happen regardless of what we do. Yeah, sure. We could slow down the process to the point where it becomes only bent on natural causes, I suppose. I don't see how, but we could. But that's not going to fix it.
Well, the bigger, I think
Japan's still going to go underwater at some point.
Argument is that we need to stop accelerating it, I think is what.
And we are. The United States has just said.
We are definitely trying.
They just said, what is it? We've dropped our carbon emissions by 30%.
Well, I mean, even if we do manage to stop accelerating it, I mean, the main thing is that we need to stop. Like, here's my opinion about the matter. Is I would say stop putting so much energy and effort into like how we can stop the acceleration or slow down the acceleration. Don't take out all of the effort and the energy, but let's put a little bit more effort and energy into what we're going to do after everything fucking, like starts rolling over into like, once the underwater streams stop. Because everybody is so hyper focused in on the fact that they're thinking about, if we start doing all these preventative measures, like maybe we can stop all this from happening. It's like, that's not going to happen.
You know what? We're doing that. And you know how? United States Space Force.
We're just going to leave?
We're going to go terraform Mars. We're going to go fucking live there, baby.
How are we going to terraform Mars?
It's going to happen. I don't fucking know. There's scientists.
I don't know science. That's for marketing to figure out.
Yeah, that's not my problem. It's just what we're going to do. It's just like, figure it the fuck out now.
I got a plan, all right? You hear it? That's my plan. Fuck off.
Step 1, Space Force. Step 2, Step 3, terraform Mars.
Step 4, profit.
Profit.
I saw this thing the other day where it was like how to be as cool as Qui-Gon Jinn. It was like number 1, be Qui-Gon Jinn. Number 2, profit.
Yeah, that's it. I can't be as cool as Qui-Gon, dude.
Oh, Qui-Gon senpai?
Oh, rip.
quite on. Okay, so I want to talk about this Virginia Boogaloo. So, like, I'm really happy that we waited to talk about this because...
How dare you use that far-right fascist slang?
I tell you what, like, nothing gets my rocks off any more than going out and bashing the fash. Get some fash bash on.
Fuck that. No.
I love getting the fash.
22,000 people. No arrests.
So armed.
So armed.
Do you think the police could even take them if they wanted to?
There was no police.
I know, but
like there were, but like hardly any.
Dude,
they weren't in riot gear. They weren't like.
It was like a private militia, just like walking outside of Richmond's Capitol building, just fucking like.
Yeah, what is it? It was like 6,000 were inside the Capitol grounds unarmed,
God.
and then there's 16,000 outside the Capitol grounds armed to the fucking teeth.
Flak jackets, fucking big ass guns,
and then the mainstream
funny
media,
Hawaiian shirts.
The mainstream media, fucking folks. Are coming out saying it was a white national prepare for this white nationalist rally, and there were people there. This black dude with a shirt that said "Black Guns Matter."
Black Guns Matter.
They got interviewed.
Dude, that dude with the bear.
The bear 50 cal got interviewed too. I haven't seen it yet.
That gun. I saw a picture of that guy. That gun is at least 5 feet long. Like, what the shit?
What is this article? Armed militias, activists, and Alex Jones converge in Richmond. Okay.
And Alex
Jones.
Alex was there, really?
Wow, that's okay. Like, okay, whatever. But like that's it.
Well, because he's been like a huge
he had nothing better to do.
Dude, he's been a huge propagator of the fact that people are going to come and take the guns.
Yeah, I mean
that's like what I was saying. He became famous on that.
Yeah,
that 9/11 was a conspiracy.
Yeah, well, but like. Honestly, like AOC came out and was like, "Why weren't there any cops there?" Or like, how you see who's the one that like they really want like to have speech and shit like that. It's like the reason that she mentioned a riot, like whose fucking death caused that riot, but she mentioned a riot, like not a protest, not a they had a petition or not petition, but like a permit to be there. The people in Richmond. She's mentioning a fucking riot that happened after a guy got shot by the cops. She's like, "Oh, I wonder why these people need cops, so these people don't, and they have riot gear when they come to our rallies." And it's like, that was a fucking riot. That was a shit riot.
Not to mention that, like, the far left extremists like threaten violence before they get places. Like,
exactly.
If all of these dudes with the guns were saying how like they're gonna get there and somebody try to take my gun and see what happens and I'm going to be wearing a mask and all this shit, then I think that it would be a completely different situation.
Dude, look at this. You see these people, they're walking around with no fucking masks on. They're just ready to fucking boogaloo.
They just want to...
They're ready to fucking boogaloo.
Hang out with their guns.
They brought a fucking
talk to other
guillotine.
People with guns.
They brought a guillotine.
What?
They brought a guillotine.
That's fucking
Second
crazy.
Amendment, I guess.
Yeah. I was like, that's
it's not going to help you
funny.
that much, but like...
I don't know what kind of point you're trying to make with
that.
that.
I know what point they're trying to make.
I know the point. That's what they're making the boogaloo point.
You ever
like,
there's this funny thing called the French Revolution?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one where they took the king out in the street and cut his head off.
Along with
him
that
and his wife.
That poor Austrian teenager.
That poor Austrian teenager. She was like 20, I think.
Oh, whatever. But
maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, like, I'm all for it, dude. Not one bad thing fucking happened out of this fucking protest.
So why was this protest going on?
Because of the laws that are being passed in Virginia. Okay, so here's what happened in Virginia.
Well, let's call them what they are. They're bills.
Okay, yeah, they're bills.
Let's take it from the top.
They're bills. They're sitting on top of that Capitol Hill.
Hills.
Well, and you should,
I don't know if
you gotta mention what kind of spurred
the
desire for these bills.
Oh, I don't even know what spurred it. I just know that they're passing it.
The fact
that there's a shooting. Which one? You want to pull the?
Working on it.
They've been talking about this.
So the Virginia Beach shooting took place on
that was like
May
2018.
2019.
2019. Really?
That was last year.
Was it really?
Yeah, they happen so often nowadays.
No. Here's the thing, right? Why hasn't like this? Honest to God, they don't talk too much about this. They're just talking about the laws or the bills.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, okay.
Why
don't
they talk about this one?
This shooting is what they're rallying behind with these bills.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Yeah, I don't believe that this is the catalyst because if you can go back to like old 2016 clips of Northam talking about getting rid of guns.
Right. There's many factors for sure.
I think this is just the example
in
that
the
they
political
use.
landscape in Virginia.
This happens
to
be
a factor in that.
It's not even a change in the political landscape. Northam's been their governor since 2016, right? 2017.
But okay, so
I mean, like since the last major election,
2019.
Yeah, but he won re-election.
No, I mean since the last presidential
Oh
election.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Well, here's what I'm saying though. Like, you might hear this as the catalyst shooting, but when this happened back in May, it died real fucking quick.
Yep.
And why?
Yeah.
Why was it? The shooter was a black man who is a registered Democrat who was using a handgun. That does not fit the narrative of a deranged right-wing white boy with an AR-15 going in and shooting up fucking schools.
Yet there was 4 injuries and 13 deaths.
Still.
With the Glock 21.
It's a good gun, though.
It is a good gun.
No, I mean, like, what do you? I mean, like, I don't. Yeah, it's like any mass shooting is terrible.
And
so,
why was
like, the
this?
idea? So
because it was in a gun-free zone.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, realistically, just because you had a shooting in Virginia doesn't mean that like that should affect the ideas that like you want to get rid of guns any more than after the Las Vegas shooting happened in 2017.
And we still don't know anything about it.
I mean, like, just for example, like that, like like because how many mass shootings do there need to be? If that's going to be your excuse, how many need to happen before you fall down and say, you know what, that's it, that's enough. We've lost 100 people. We're calling it. No more guns. Like you can't just decide after one mass shooting. Like,
this
okay,
this might sound callous and cold-hearted, but there is no amount of mass shootings ever, or like that will make me change my mind on it.
Well, I mean, like you can't.
If the question is like, how many more people need to die? Literally, all of them.
Yeah, if the whole world's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I'd rather be the person with a gun and able to defend myself.
Well, like because that's what it boils.
Defenseless against someone who got a gun off the black market.
Because that's what it boils down to is defense. It doesn't boil down to
never outsource your own protection.
It doesn't boil down to what tool are you using for said defense. Because I could walk down dude, I could fucking sarin attack a subway in New York. Do you think anybody's prepared for that? No,
maybe some crazy dude with a gas mask already, but no.
But no, I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you could inflict insane public amounts of harm.
Sure,
I mean, sarin's already illegal, but I mean, the idea that
the deadliest terrorist attack pulled off in America was pulled off without a single shot fired.
Well, I mean, so the idea that you need a gun in order to inflict terror or do extreme amounts of harm to the public is not.
Oh yeah, that's a
not
shitty excuse.
It's not like a real thing. It's a
shitty excuse. And the fact is, what kind of guns do you want to ban? Like, as far as I know, the legislation that's being pushed in Virginia is they want to ban most semi-automatic weapons, which is would include handguns, I believe. Because most handguns are semi-automatic.
I think they're moving it towards.
You cannot be it's like restricting the ability to form militias or join militias or even to actually have militias in the state of Virginia. Other shit that Northam has done is extended his what?
No, what are you saying?
Oh, yeah. The other shit that Northam has done is extended his term limit by 4 more years.
Does he have to go an election again?
Yeah.
Okay. So he just can win. He can
just run again.
But that's that potentially goes for anybody else too, So if Northam was potentially, beaten by a Republican or something like that, then that Republican would also have the option to run for 3 consecutive terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean it'd be so the original.
You can't just pass it.
It's not even going to be up for re-election until
2022.
Yeah.
Or 20.
Yeah. No, he just won. So I mean.
Yeah. So here, the thing is, it was originally a 4-year limit term, and now it's an 8-year limit. So he essentially gets to run 2 more times. And it's what the fuck? You can't change that while you're in office because the people. Okay, so God, if I could still fucking have this.
Dude, imagine if Trump tried to do that.
Oh, they already have a plot when he makes jokes about it at his fucking rallies. They're like, oh, when I win again in 2024, it's like, Reed.
Well, I mean, because bad. Well, see, this is where my question mainly comes in about how the Constitution works is what happens when states start stepping on
the federal
Constitution.
The federal Constitution comes in and
where
supersedes that.
I was going to say that's
too busy distracted.
Supreme Court's job.
Yeah, that's where the Supreme Court comes in and says, "Hey, you can't do that.
Hey, cut that shit out."
The Supreme Court currently is busy dealing with Obamacare shit still and fucking the Trump impeachment. We've got one justice in the Supreme Court is dead and just being wheeled around in a wheelchair like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
You've got one that is currently sleeping in the Senate House.
John Roberts.
I'm sure he wants to go home, but
John Roberts is a pussy.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's a pussy.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's a pussy.
And then everybody else is just fucking drinking beer at Kavanaugh's house.
Hell
while they're
yeah,
talking
dude.
about the fucking talking about Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, dude. Kavanaugh, like fucking just
Anyway,
fucking
so
keggers.
yeah, so like I really think
Him
that
and Clarence
somebody
Thomas running rape trains on people.
Jesus. I wonder how long they're going to like how long are they going to let this fucking, nonsense go down? Like, are they really going to let these things, like these bills table out into laws? Or?
Hell no, because here's what's going to happen, and this is how it's supposed to always happen. As soon as the bill becomes a law, people from the state, like somebody from
like people could sue the state.
That's exactly what happens.
Somebody will lodge a case against the state.
Then they will go to the Supreme Court, and then they'll be like, then they will decide upon it there.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, no, you cannot enforce this law.
You'll have,
because
some people of Virginia versus state of Virginia.
Even if
court case in the Supreme Court.
Even if hypothetically they managed to get it out where it was like, yeah, we've managed to describe it enough to ban like one certain type of firearm. If they somehow magically managed to do that, the restriction of militia is just like that's like blatantly against the
Second Amendment. Yeah, it's blatant. It's like the whole argument that everyone uses.
Yeah, we'll be like,
you're supposed to be for militias. Like, okay, then why are you getting rid of militias?
Like, you can say whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want on social media. That would be like people would be like, yeah, people would be like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's like, wait.
As long as you're in real life, and it's coming out of your mouth, you can say whatever you want and be prepared to accept whatever personal consequences those words may, invoke on the people around you.
Exactly.
But if you say it on social media, that's illegal. So, I mean, like, if that was a law that was trying to be passed in, like, a state, everybody would be up in absolute arm. They'd be flipping their shit.
And that's my thing here, right? Like, people who, like, it's kind of hypocritical in the sense that, like, I want to focus so much on my right of free speech. But, like, I just don't agree with the Second Amendment, so I'm just not going to care for it. It's like, no. It doesn't work like that. You respect the fact that we have this first one, and then you respect the fact that we have this second one. Whether you like it or not, because sometimes people just say shit that you don't like, but they're allowed to say it. Too fucking bad. They have the gun, and you have to fucking deal with it. I'm sorry. If you want to change it, constitutionally amend it.
No, I agree. And because, like, I don't really know how, because, like I said, I mean, there's so many people where it's just kind of like, you want my gun, come in and take it. And then what's going to happen?
Honest to God, like, I'm all for that. Like, no.
Because, sorry. I mean, like, so the Second Amendment basically comes into play to basically protect you against a tyrannical government who is, trying to basically, like, supersede onto your, like.
The Second Amendment is to defend yourself from the possibility of a tyrannical government or self-defense or the invasion of another foreign power.
For sure. Like, I mean, like, self-defense, like you versus another human being, that should be 100% a given. In all honesty, I know it's not the case, but it should be a given no matter where you live.
That's it.
Like, you should have, I know, but, like, in the sense of, like, defending yourself against a tyrannical government, that's, like, kind of the unique aspect of the Second Amendment because, other places, like, may have something along the lines where, like, England probably has some version of it, but I bet you for the longest time that it was just like, yeah, but, we don't really want you to have the right to defend yourself against us being tyrannical. Because
you don't need, because that was the thing. It's like, we're already ruling over you.
They believe they had, divine
divine sovereignty.
Yeah, and they believed it was their given right to rule over these people, whether the
crown.
Tyrannically or not.
Speaking of which, great game. You guys need to check out Total War 3 Kingdoms. I just got the DLC Mandate of Heaven.
Not sponsored.
Just
I was like, shit, you get sponsored and you're just putting a plug in?
No. Dude, if we were sponsored by Total War, whoo, girl.
Dude. Hey, reach out to Raid Legends or whatever.
Raid Shadow Legends. There's over 10 whatever interactive characters that you can use. My favorite's the dude with the mohawk.
Over 10 whatever.
Yeah, my dude's the favorite with the mohawk.
Not sponsored.
You can play PvP or with just by yourself. I like playing by myself because I'm a chump. But
I like playing by myself, so I only have to do the bare minimum to keep the sponsorship.
Raid would sponsor C-SPAN if they asked for it.
Dude, okay, so like... completely.
Can you imagine getting a Raid Shadow Legends in the middle of a C-SPAN?
Well,
they will put their plugs in front of fucking anything.
No, I'm always off topic. I listen to like a bunch of people who just do like talk channels about like super niche things, you know, like one specific anime show, one specific movie, Star Wars, whatever.
Of course.
So like, you know, like I watched this dude who does a bunch of Dragon Ball Z podcasts and stuff, and he's hella sponsored by Raid. And then you move on to like the Star Wars guy, and they're hella sponsored by Raid. And then you move on to some video game guy, and he's hella sponsored by Raid. And you're just like, Jesus. And the funny part is they all pitch the same fucking commercial.
I get leer. I think we did on a previous episode. I went on a rant about NordVPN and.
They're still sponsoring.
I know they're still sponsoring everything under the goddamn
all over
sun.
the place.
Like seriously,
because like it wasn't too long ago. I was like listening to somebody talk, and he was like, "This episode is brought to you by NordVPN." You know, like you want to always make sure that you're protected, especially like if you're using internet in some place that doesn't necessarily allow you to.
Did Tim lose sponsors?
Tim?
Yeah, didn't he used to sponsor people?
Tim?
They really should make their. They should really make their white page to say.
He would like
timcast.com/donate, baby.
Is that the only thing he ever said?
Go donate. It's not ours. It's Tim Pool. But if you listen to this, you probably listen to Tim Pool. So there's. If you don't, go listen to Tim Pool. But listen to this first.
Yeah, us first.
But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So like our Second Amendment is, you know, like unique in the sense that it actually protects you from like the tyrannical government.
No, our right system is unique in the fact that
whatever.
And we're the only country in the fact that whether you believe in God or not, these are your rights of just being. Congratulations, you were born.
Well, sure, but like, my
everywhere else, it's granted to you by your government or it's granted to you by your constitution.
Well, sure, but like my whole point basically is that there is clauses in there that specifically by wording say that you are allowed to do this to protect against us acting tyrannical, you know, against you.
Yes.
That is not something that you're going to find built into most constitutions of, you know, countries and stuff.
Because most countries...
That was kind of the America special sauce.
So...
that's what makes us so fucking great.
Yeah, so, like I was saying earlier, if you manage to somehow get the guns out, even if... Like, the government basically was stepping in to say that you have no right to form militia. That is just like an absolute 100% stomping.
That's what it no longer becomes a democracy. It's an oligarchy.
The Supreme Court would have the easiest case of the year.
Yeah. Like, you're all wrong. You're wrong.
No, this is wrong. You're all wrong. Please stop.
This is disgustingly violation of your freedoms.
Yeah. Justice Ginsburg, what do you think? She's got like the sunglasses on. She's kind of like...
I agree.
Somebody like lifts her hand up and just...
whoever the other Democrat fucking justice up there is like, she said yes, she agrees.
Did you hear her? You really don't want to make her repeat herself. She's not about that.
It's like, wake up, do your job. This is your job is to make it look like she's still alive, whatever your fucking name is.
What would they call that person? Like
the Ginsburg custodian.
I wanted to figure out something like associate justice in there, like junior body associate justice, junior justice body,
junior limb readjusting associate.
Are you kidding me? This is a government. They would have an intern doing it.
Yeah,
it's just some unpaid person. Like, this is such a good opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, I'd move around.
I bet you. Yeah. No. Dude, I was actually Ruth Bader Ginsburg's body puppet for 3 years. I got a lot of legal experience and understanding the legal system from that. That's why I think I'm a very good candidate.
Dude, I'd walk around and fucking massage their feet and bring them coffee and whatever they want, dude. I don't care.
Can you imagine what fucking Clarence
play
Thomas
basketball with that motherfucker?
He's a big boy, man.
Dude, bad.
He's a big boy.
I imagine Clarence Thomas like sitting like at the thing, like looking very serious with like his shoes off. Just like his side, just like hanging out, like just, you know, because like they're there all day.
I like to think
just get comfortable.
Clarence Thomas, I like to imagine, does the same niche thing that Burt Cooper from Mad Men did. He walks around the Supreme Court without his shoes on, and just socks, business shoes, and
just
socks.
Yeah, like he's got his robe on and just some
socks.
Dress socks.
Yeah,
like
you're like, oh shit, he's got his by the door. It's like, you come into his office, you got to take your shoes off.
No, I mean, like tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a great time, unless the Senate actually adjourns for the night, which they're totally going to do because they're fucking pussies. But
no, what? Hold on. Have you ever seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? Yeah, that man filibustered for hours. You leave him alone.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is the exact opposite of how Washington like actually works.
No, Legally Blonde is the exact opposite of Legally Blonde 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, come on. That's way more accurate than Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
No, it is
Mr. Smith,
not.
You think that how often?
Have you?
How
when was
often,
the last time you saw Legally Blonde 2?
When was the last time you saw a representative stand up to the money that backs them? Never, because it doesn't fucking happen.
It's more of a fairy tale, but like my thing is the fact is my point is the fact that Legally Blonde is just so wrong.
We're big fans of science fiction.
I don't remember how Legally Blonde 2 goes.
Wrong.
Does she become the president?
No,
okay.
She becomes an aide for a House representative or some shit.
That sounds about
or
right.
Senator.
She bangs him, right?
No.
Oh.
But she makes her. No. She has to get these people to agree on her fucking bill.
What's your bill?
I don't fucking remember.
Blondes just deserve to have more fun.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
They get an extra hour at lunch.
Yeah, but she like the mean old grumpy Republican. The mean old grumpy Republican. She makes friends with the dog park.
Was it like the South Park movie? I don't think it's the South Park movie. It's it's South Park something or whatever. It's when Randy gets when Randy discovers the farting thing in the rainforest. When you remember? Like when,
farting
yeah,
thing?
when everyone everybody's like internally when Kenny internally combusts because he's holding in his farts around his new girlfriend and Randy's like, you guys have to release your farts or else you're gonna internally combust. And then he's about to get an award.
Randy,
yeah, they're at
Randy.
they're at the they're at the Academy Award and Whoopi Goldberg comes out and she's like, Republicans are so stupid. Yeah. It's just everybody starts cheering. Yeah, and she's like, Republicans are so dumb.
It's so true because you can just watch The View and she does the same shit all fucking day.
Republicans are so stupid. I love it. It's fucking hilarious. And then she's like, now anyway, to present the Academy Awards, here's fucking somebody. I don't remember who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just a bunch of, it's not even the Academy Awards. It's a bunch of science. It's the Nobel Prize in science or some shit, but... I
really liked Don Jr. going on The View.
Dude, what's up with him? Why isn't he on Rogan yet? The fuck? He's every other podcast.
He did Bongino.
Yeah. Joe.
Everyone at Joe Rogan, get Dan Bongino to go on your podcast then get Donald Trump Jr. to go on.
I'm just curious, though.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a queue building
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I'm committed to getting Dan Bongino on there first. Because he's going to give us the truth about America.
So my last thing that I wanted to talk about before, and this literally just came up just now. Do you think Joe has become too big?
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
No.
When was the last time that he had a controversial figure like that on? Him and Don Jr. are dudes. So I know that they talk outside of.
He had Alex Jones on last year.
Yeah, but
damn, that was a year ago.
Yeah, but
for all we know, there might be some other ulterior thing that's preventing. I mean,
Don Jr.
I have to imagine that Joe Rogan has got at least once gone up to Donald Jr.
Yeah, because they know each other.
So when Don Jr. was literally just doing the fucking podcast,
I can't, man.
He was just doing the podcast circuit. This dude literally just hit every major podcast / television show that would have him to promote his new book. And you're telling me that he didn't potentially extend hey,
maybe Joe's booked.
Joe, Joe.
Yeah.
I know he's probably booked, but you don't think that he could move over one of his fucking comedian? Yeah, he could move over one of his comedian dudes that holds fucking real people's time.
I don't know.
I mean, no offense to the comedians that come on there and shit.
Maybe
They're
it's
funny.
a good reason to go on there because he had Tulsi Gabbard on there twice now and Bernie Sanders on there once. Do you think?
Yeah. So
do you
why
think that's he's doing it for their sake?
So why no Republicans? Why no?
That's probably why he doesn't want Dan Bongino to go on there.
Yeah. So why no people on the other side of the aisle? If you're gonna have Bernie Sanders come on, so yeah, granted, they're both president. He said Yang, Bernie, and what's her name? Tulsi. They're presidential candidates. It makes total sense. I completely understand. Don Jr. is the son of the president who is currently mired in the third impeachment trial that has ever happened in U.S. history and is a pretty good, voice of what's going, or at least a very good viewpoint of what's going on the other side.
Maybe it's because he is too hot and Joe doesn't want to bring that heat. I think
that's my point.
It's possible.
Because Joe always talks about how, Joe always talks about how you don't give a shit about the heat, but I think
I'm gonna start berating him then.
I think
hey, Joe Rogan's a hashtag pussy because he won't bring on fucking Republicans.
Well,
get that out there. Let's do it.
Get that out there.
Let's do it. I'll tweet it right now.
Not on the studio account.
I'll tweet it right now.
I still like Joe though.
I know. I mean, like I like him too, but I mean, like it doesn't mean I can't call him a pussy.
No, and I mean, like, so here's my other thing. Like, okay, so maybe Joe is not interested in politics at all. Maybe he did he did the Bernie thing and the like the Tulsi thing and the Yang thing because that was something that people were demanding.
Well, back
that
in November, he brought Tulsi and Jocko on.
It's true. True, he did.
Jocko's not even political. Yeah, I assume.
But that was Tulsi and Jocko saying that they wanted to do that. And listen to how Jocko says that whole thing. Basically, Jocko and Tulsi put that fucking podcast episode together, and then Jocko basically just texted Joe and was like, "Yo, let's do this." And Joe was like, "Yeah, let's do it. I make time. When do you want to do it? 100%. Let's go."
Yeah, maybe he is. So then he's a pussy. So let's do it. Hashtag Joe.
Yeah.
Hashtag
So like,
Joe
I refuse to believe that if there was communication that was made between, Don Jr. and Joe Rogan, like that there would be some sort of.
I think he's a pussy because he won't do it.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense to have Don Jr. on now. His book's been out.
Yeah. And honestly, like he did the book tour circuit, so like why wouldn't he go on there?
I don't know. I mean, he literally went on every other major podcast. Yeah. Every major somewhat political podcast.
I agree.
He was on.
Joe Rogan's a pussy. I mean, I still love the guy. It's just he's being a pussy.
And he kicked the shit out of us.
Sure, it doesn't change the fact that he's still a pussy.
Well, he's huge.
Doesn't change the fact that he's a pussy.
I mean, it explains it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love the guy and all. He's a good guy. I love the shit that he does. He's a very entertaining person. It's the fact that this one aspect of a characteristic that I wish you would bring on more of these people, especially Don Jr.
Well,
Dan Bongino first.
It's not even that like from like I mean, because I'm not going to come at it from the biased side that you're coming from, red blooded over there, but I'm just kidding. But like, I would like to see more of like a balanced discussion because it's like Joe already tends to lean left. He's admitted it and and I'm fine with it. I mean, he's a very centered person, for the way that he at least talks to people sometimes, depending on what they are.
Pro-choice.
I mean, it may be just that he is really, really, really good friends with Donald Jr. and he's not trying to mire or muddle their friendship with all this political bullshit that's happening.
Then talk about his book.
Yeah.
That's what Don Jr.'s fucking walking around promoting.
Yeah, talk about hunting. True. They're both avid
hunters. Talk about hunting.
But I think he just got to understand that, if he brings Don Jr. on and doesn't talk about certain things, he's going to disappoint a large number of his audience.
Don Jr. is his dad's right-hand man. He will be the first person to stand up and be like, fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, look what he did with The View. He got them to cheer him instead of them.
Yeah, I mean,
it was great.
He is 100% ready and willing to talk about this.
He's gonna be Don Jr. for vice president 2024.
And I honestly think that that's one of the main things that's keeping Rogan from doing this is just because like he's basically looking at like how is my base going to react to this being a thing.
And I think that's a fair assumption, but I mean, I'm still gonna call you a pussy for doing it.
No, that's fair. Like I really want him to just have this because like I would like to have more of like a well-rounded.
He's a businessman and he's got viewers and listeners to keep appeased.
But if you're going to have one side of the argument present its case,
bring the other on.
You need to have the other side of the argument come on and present its case. He has done that with so many different things. Like he brought on Jack Dorsey. And they sat down and Jack Dorsey bullshitted him on how Twitter worked for 3 hours.
And then he brought
on Tim Pool, Vidya, whatever her last name is, and Jack Dorsey again. And Tim fucking shredded them.
Oh, it's
like
great.
He fucking just demolished. Joe got like a handful of words in every now and again. Tim was just berating the shit out of them. And I was just like, And I have been an avid Tim Pool fan ever since then. I'm just like, dude, Tim, you're the fucking, oh my god, you're the unsung hero of the internet.
But then again, look at what he did with Bernie Sanders. Look at his interview with Bernie Sanders.
No, dude, his interview with Bernie Sanders
was
it was shit. No, look at his interview with Abby. What's her fuck? Yeah, like what's up with that? Like because Abby, what's her name, is like a super hardcore leftist activist, and her and Joe are super good friends, and she's over there literally talking about all of this, like how like we are the problem, then we're the reason that Venezuela is failing and all this stuff. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah. No, she's right. People from Hollywood are the reason that Venezuela is failing because people like Hollywood, Sean Penn especially, would go in there and prop up Maduro. So yes, it is Hollywood's fault that Venezuela happened.
And I mean, not to mention the fact that they go around talking about how they're like, oh yeah, well, we were interviewing all these people and they're like super big fans of Chavez and Maduro and all this. And I'm like, yeah, but
she's a fucking liar.
But like, what about all the because all the people who hate Maduro are gone.
They're dead.
They're dead. They've left. They're fucking like look at
they
Juan,
got run over the streets.
Juan, whatever his name is. That dude leads the opposition party. I mean, like the capitalists are
the globalists.
Well, it's not even
That's
the
what
capitalists. But they want out.
Yeah, why would
they want out, or they want their country back, and it's and the other part of the population is so insanely poor that they don't have any other option.
I'll leave you with this conspiracy theory. And this is just off the top of my dome.
Something to ponder at home.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So here, the main argument, and you've used this on me before, for why we should let people into the country, especially from Central America, right? Is because we cause all the problems down there.
We cause a lot of the problems down there, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't say all of them, but yes.
We have caused a lot of them. I don't say we cause a lot
of them.
Like
the United States has played a hand in causing a lot of their problems.
Yeah, we've probably been out of the game down there for quite a while at this point, but we've caused quite a few issues.
Sure.
We've had some fun.
Sure, right? But then again, you start like the government is hand in there, right? But then now we have like things like our political actors or like, commentators or not even people who are in politics directly, but are involved somehow. Sean Penn, very politically spoken. All these other, like Oprah Winfrey's very political. Mark Hamill. And these are the same people who go down to these countries and advocate for their socialist leaders, who would then fuck up their countries. And why are Venezuelans fleeing north?
Socialism.
Because of socialism. And then, displaces people in other countries who then flee north. Because I'm willing to bet that, these people, like gang members from Venezuela also fled too.
Oh yeah,
because the biggest gang in town is the fucking government, so they're like, pull out, bro. So they start going to these other countries like Nicaragua and Honduras and all these Peru and
what was the country that's like right next to Venezuela that said that they weren't going to take any more Venezuelans in?
Colombia, I believe. But yeah, like so, like these countries, like they're starting like they have such a migrant like flood from Venezuela that it displaced all these other people who are now flooding north. So they're perpetuating the problem, and they're doing it on purpose.
I don't think they're doing it on purpose. They're definitely idiots, that's for sure.
Sure, but I mean, like, they're definitely perpetuating the problem.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
and that's not the conspiracy theory. No. My conspiracy theory is they're doing it on purpose. So they can then use it. Like, look at these people who need to come into the country.
No, there's an awesome fucking scene that you can see. It's from 1990 something Oscars, and Richard Gere is up there accepting his Oscar.
Is he a pedophile?
Richard Gere?
Yeah.
No, he's the dude with the gerbil up the butt.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's talking about...
Rod Stewart blew all those sailors.
Yeah. He's talking about China.
China.
Certain spot in China, I can't remember where.
Dongyong?
No, where's the remnants of the old Chinese government at? Taiwan?
Yeah.
Is that where the remnants?
That's where real China's at.
So like yeah, so he was basically like talking about how like, he's up there talking about how like they're having such a huge hard time and whatnot with dealing with like the Chinese government and stuff, and he's like, everybody together, let's send our energy to those people, like all together collectively. And I'm like, why don't you send some of that fucking like $30 million I guarantee you just got from that fucking movie you just made.
Yeah, like what's with the award? The award just got you some money, huh?
Go melt that fucking award down and send that shit over to them. Why you gotta send them?
It's like it's also more like the grand. Like look at like of course that like they always try to top themselves with grandstanding when they win awards. Look what Marlon Brando did like way back when
he didn't accept it.
Yeah, when
he sent like that Mexican woman or whatever.
She was Native American.
I'm sorry.
Which. Sorry, is not a real thing. I hate to break it to you.
Mexicans are technically Native Americans.
Sure, but I mean, technically Native America isn't a thing. If we want to go there. Because no one is native to the continents of America, the American continent.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, yeah.
Are you sure about that? Maybe somebody maybe human beings didn't evolve here and then wander over to somewhere else Europe, and then somebody else moved in here?
They didn't. They evolved in Africa and Asia and migrated up to up into Europe. No, they did not. No one is native to America. The prevailing theory of how apes came to America, any ape, not humans, but apes, is the fact that there's some cataclysmic event where parts of land were thrown from parts of Africa with these apes on there. This is the prevailing theory in anthropology. I swear to God.
Wait, what? Are you kidding me right now?
Yes, it is the raft theory, I believe. Or
Okay. So they were splintered and they started. Okay, so there was just basically like kind of how Madagascar works. So like it was like a bunch of monkeys lived on Madagascar and then it separated from mainland Africa and then lemurs.
Not the way that my professor broke it down to me.
Like separately.
Like I'm talking like large chunks of land were thrown across the Atlantic is what he broke it down to us. This man is a practicing anthropologist in mostly the Indonesia area.
All right, so
he's a doctor.
He's got me beat on credentials.
Yes, and he's 100%. He just came back from like Samoa or something.
He's probably got me beat on knowledge too. I'm just going to go out.
I never said this was his theory. He said this is the prevailing theory. He says he disagrees a lot.
How fast are we talking about here?
I don't fucking know. He didn't explain because he says it's a dumb theory.
Yeah, because I was like, because even gigantic chunks of land being thrown at like super fast speeds is like maybe a mile a year.
Because there's no better explanation for the types of apes that you find in the Americas to the types of like the relation to the types of apes that they have. The timelines don't add up, and there's no better explanation.
Aliens, bro.
I'm like, duh. I don't know.
Right.
Am I wearing my InfoWars shirt?
No. But anyway, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. Ancient aliens.
Yep.
How did we always somehow come to that topic or reference that on so many podcasts?
Have you ever seen it? It's an amazing show, dude. It's so good. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We will be returning this upcoming Thursday. Charlie, will you be here?
No, I work.
Jesus Christ.
We'll find somebody to stick in that chair.
Yeah. Probably get Justin on here.
Yeah, Justin.
You know, and we're going to be actually working on some offshoot products. I've got a couple of ideas in the works. If you enjoy the politics of the real world, maybe you'll enjoy the politics of the fantasy and science fiction. It's a possibility. I don't know. We're working on ideas over here, so like keep your ear to the ground for anything new.
Trade taxes start Clone Wars.
Message us on Minds, comment on YouTube. Let us know what you think or what you might like to hear us talk about.
Most definitely. And we're also on Spotify, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure that you get at us.
Yeah, we're all in all kinds of places.
We're everywhere. Not everywhere, but we're all kinds of places, like Tyler said. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, no, it's a dumb theory, but...
That is a stupid
It's
theory.
a dumb theory.
It's like even landmass is moving at like incredible